They're going to slow things down on 96. In addition to the gusty winds, hail has been noted out of these as well. So nickel, quarter, even up to $half or ping pong ball sized hail out of today's storms. We got an upper low up there, and that has that cooler air aloft that has helped to focus our hail development or allow for hail development on the larger side. Future radar, Cincinnati to Columbus. We've got some strong thunderstorms headed your way. And again, these are what's coming out of Detroit. They're going to drop south into parts of Ohio, Columbus, and Cincinnati. It's going to be late evening for you. Big hail, big winds, all possible, and very big rainfall amounts. I think, Mike, for a lot of communities, those soaking rainfalls will also lead to some minor street flooding.
It could. Alex, thank you.
And those storms are racing in out of the northwest, warned north to south. So along 94 and then up towards the shores of Lake Huron, we've got the warnings there. Also a few warnings back into parts of northeastern Indiana. But Detroit currently under the warning, even though the worst of the weather is still a few miles away from you. Wayne County, Dearborn, Detroit, Livonia under this warning until the top of the hour. So unfortunately, these storms moving through right when a lot of you are going to be moving home, getting out on the roads, and falling trees in addition to hail will be threats. So not great for anybody out on those local roadways or highways. As we look at the velocity product, this is showing us what's moving away from the radar. So very strong edge of or line of winds moving towards the Clinton area as we speak. Westland, you're up next as well. So as Scott goes north to south along this line to give us some timing, Warren 356, St. Clair Shores at 401, Detroit 407, Windsor at 412, and then Brownstown at 415. So we're going to be looking at a lot of these communities, Huntington Woods, down towards the Grosse Pointe area. These are all communities that could see falling trees given the strong wind potential. We've also got big storms producing big winds and also really hefty rainfall rates. So a lot of flash flood warnings in Middle Tennessee, as well as severe thunderstorm warnings. Those storms continue south, so Huntsville, Chattanooga, even Clemson, South Carolina, under a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock. Mike, of course, we're also watching parts of the Midwest and Ohio Valley under that watch until 11 for Columbus and Indianapolis.
Thanks for the update there.
That's less than ideal, and that's unfortunately what we've got in the Atlantic as well, Dr. Knapp. We look at what's happening out there in terms of storms or areas to watch, but what unfortunately could help some of these systems is that incredibly warm sea surface temperature.
Yeah, that tropical wave that's in the tropical eastern Atlantic has record-setting warm water to feed off of over the next week as it tries to make its way toward the Caribbean. And Don is holding up the works because it's causing the steering to be weaker than average out in the tropical Atlantic. So this wave has a lot of time to cook.
All right, we don't like that. You don't want time to cook for a tropical system. In terms of upper level support, you said the shear is backing off as well, right?
Yeah, out in the tropical Atlantic. I think this is going to be the name of the game throughout this entire hurricane season, that the shear is going to be weak out in the tropical Atlantic.
Right now on Weather Underground, a very active pattern today. We've got severe storms from the...
Thank you for staying with us here on Weather Underground. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson. As always, our expert Dr. Knapp in the house as well. Big storms working through a few big metro areas today. Earlier we had Nashville. Today we've got now we've got Detroit.
And this whole pattern is continuing to be capable of both flash flooding and severe weather. In fact, Vermont has a risk of flash flooding tomorrow. But there's also a non-zero risk of tornadoes, just like we've had with Mayfield. I mean, so we have a lot to contend with.
It's absolutely nuts, right? There are a lot of places getting hit, and we're going to take a look at that radar here in just a second. How about we outline the top stories that we're following today? Yes, definitely 100%